Oh, good morning, campers. Welcome back to another portion of the daily meet in a undisclosed location deep inside Milton Keynes. Bit of bush going on behind me there, bit of Milton Keynes Buckinghamshire bush. We're having a piping hot caffeinated beverage, a nice coffee in the morning. Wow, that is piping hot, piping hot. It is Wednesday, the 1st of April, April Fool's Day. Today, I pity the fool. I pity the fool. Yeah, 1st of April, 2026. We are officially into the 4th month of 2026. Year's gone really quick, really fast. But today, we're going to check out a few more places in the Milton Keynes area. And then a little bit later on, we're going to carry on heading south. We're going to exit my former hometown. And yeah, let's just see what the day brings. Let's see what the day brings. I'm just going to finish my coffee. Want to tag along, come along for the ride, see what's up in Milton Keynes. Stick around. Now, having not lived in Milton Keynes for over 20 years now, there's something that triggered my memory, and it's the smell. When you're walking around all the bushland in the morning, the smell of the moist bush. It's very nice. It's almost like a sweet, floral, bush-like smell. But yeah, it's definitely triggered a memory unlock. In my younger days, that tree there, that oak tree, I used to come up here quite a lot in the summer on a nice hot day, and I used to just chill out in this field here. This is called the Labyrinth. There's like a little maze here that's made into the grass with these little paths. I used to often come up here on a hot day, chill out, and have a look at the North Lake on Willen Lake. Long time ago. And when you used to come up here back then, there was never anybody around here. It was nice and peaceful. I was around here last night and it was absolutely heaving. There was people running. They're running and they're not being chased. I don't get it. There's constantly people running. Yeah, so there's the old oak tree. This is the labyrinth. And there's like 4 corners to it, and on each corner there's a piece of artwork. I forget who they're made by, but look, like a little face of the sun. Look at that. Have a little sniff of that, Bruno. Smell that. That's the smell of a face. Yeah. So there's another one there, another one over there, and there's another one over there by the Canadian geese. So we are literally walking on the labyrinth. Even Puppy's walking on it. I said, look, we're going to be like Lady and the Tramp with spaghetti. Oh no, he's having a little chew of some weeds. Look at that though. Very nice spot. Hopefully the geese walk away. I'm going to show you one of these other pieces of artwork. Open there. Another face. Another face. It's like, what are they? What are they? They're walking away. So there's an aerial vantage point of the labyrinth. With the oak tree in the middle. And there's the lake. That's the north part of Willen Lake. South part's the other side of the road over there. And then that's the Peace Pagoda. It's quite the grand structure. This was built in 1980 by the monks. There is a temple just the other side of the hill there. Now in the early 80s, I remember my dad used to bring me up here like on a hot Sunday afternoon. And there'd be nobody about. We left the place to ourselves. And I've got some pictures from 1983. And there's one with me standing against the side of this little wall. Hold on, let's get up the steps. Look at that. Very impressive. Yeah, there's a picture of me standing, I think it's around about there. That's the view out to the lake. Like I say, Milton Keynes, you're living in a concrete jungle, but there is a lot of green spaces around there. Some nice chill areas. Yeah, Bruno's loving it round here. You like all these green spaces, didn't you, puppy? Loving all the green spaces. So I got a picture of me from 1983 standing just there. Just there. The little lions ain't in the shot, but yeah, my dad would have been on these steps and my little knobbly knees were standing there. And here we are, many years later, and I'm an old man, getting old. Time don't hang around for any old person, that's for sure. So as we stand at the base of the steps, there's a little info board here. My guess was pretty good, wasn't it? Oh, 1980, good memory. But yeah, there's a bit of information about the Peace Pagoda there. And here's a little map. So we've just been to the labyrinth. There's the Peace Pagoda. We are currently here. And then we're going to go and check out the medicine wheel. And there's the temple, which is, you can just see the little roof tip there, but we'll leave that alone. And then this whole section here is the South Lake, but we won't be going there today. Just going to have a quick look at this medicine wheel and then we'll move on. Now the North Lake is more of a nature reserve. The South Lake has sporting activities and stuff, so this is more for your bird watching. So we are approaching the medicine wheel now. There's some people in there taking some fun cool snaps. So we'll give them a minute and then we'll swoop in. Okay, campers, the Circle of Hearts medicine wheel. A place of unification, honouring life and commitment to peace, and symbolising the spirit of unconditional love, wisdom and illumination. Why, it's deep. There you go. A bit more oomph on it there, but yeah, it's represents a coming together of North American Indian medicine wheels and ancient stone circles of Britain. So essentially it's like a mini Stonehenge / American Indian medicine wheel. I can't actually remember when it's built. It may have said it on that board. It's been here as long as I can remember anyway. Looks like limestone slab. Somebody's been having a fire in the middle there. Maybe they've had a sweet barbecue, cooking up some meat. But yeah, let's get the healing qualities of the medicine wheel. See if we can heal my arthritis. Look at that. I can't feel it ridding me of this arthritic pain. Still there. And I got a headache this morning. It don't work. Let's keep moving on. I don't feel nothing. Ibuprofen's better than that. And Stonehenge. Right, look, with the not allowed tape. Right, so around the not allowed tape, we got the imp for the labyrinth. So that was made in 1985. Yeah, that's pretty much. I always remember it being there since I was a wee lad. I'd have been about five or 6 years old then. Yeah, at the centre of the Willen labyrinth is an oak tree. See, we didn't have information boards back then. We knew. We did our research. We became one with nature, and we knew our oak from our blossom trees. There you go. We're now here. There you go, beautiful place. Right, so we're leaving my little sneaky park up for the night. You'll have to wait to the the main video drops. Not sure when that'll be. Possibly today, possibly tomorrow. I need to edit that. But yeah, we're heading up to the city now. What we used to call it, the city, which is the city centre where the shopping centre is. There's a couple of things I want to check out. There's a filming location to an 80s Hollywood blockbuster. There's a music video that was all the rage on MTV back in the day. And quite a significant landmark in Milton Keynes' history that I want to check out. Very significant, especially for the ones like me who grew up in the 80s and 90s in Milton Keynes and surrounding areas. It was quite the place to come to. It was a bit of a hotspot back in the day. Right, so as we're heading towards the city centre, it's currently 10:30. The day's passed me by already. Had a nice relaxing camp last night, and yeah, we've missed the rush hour traffic. So the roads are looking quite chill this morning, which is nice. Alright, so we're going to do a little live navigation around the Milton Keynes roundabout. Check it out, we're going straight on. So we need to stay in this left lane. And we keep moving. And for people who don't know when to signal, when you hit this island on the left, you indicate, and then you pull in. Indicate left, and we're going straight over. Look at that. Look at that live roundabout action in Milton Keynes. And we're just coming into Campbell Park, so I want to hook a right here. On Silbury Boulevard. Campbell Park to my left is a little green area around the end of the shopping centre. Bit of a Masonic, bit of a Freemason thing going on in there. There's a lot of symbolism. A lot of cult symbolism, but we'll ignore that. We'll ignore that. A nice bit of bushland. My old staffy. I used to do Milton Keynes Market, and in the morning I used to walk my old staffy up here into Campbell Park. Go for his little morning bush action, and then we'd head back to the market and take some money for the day. There's a few little places I want to stop off at in Central Milton Keynes, but I'm not going to be paying for them parking, so I'm just going to quickly park up in certain areas, and then we'll whip out the van, get some footage, and then we'll quickly go. Oh well, there's a German doner kebab right there. Interesting. Right, our first little location once we cross over. I used to catch a bus just down there to when I lived in Wavendham. Right, so if we go straight over, so there's nobody parking here because it's too expensive. Probably got AMPR. They got AMPR. We'll be quick. We'll quickly run in. Right, now just inside this part of the shopping centre, I'm not going to go in there and film, but yeah, just here we got John Lewis. Cliff Richard filmed a music video in 1981, Wired for Sound, and he was roller skating up and down there. And look, we've got a little train in there now, some kids on, but yeah, that was right there. You can see, if you look at the music video, you can see that wall in the background that's got John Lewis written on it. Right in there, 1981. Now it's the mini local railways buggy park. I won't film that, says kids on there, but yeah, fun fact. Music video, 1981, blockbuster hit for Cliff Richard. Yeah, there is another location a little bit further down. We'll go to that, and he also filmed in an underpass that went under one of these roads. I'm not sure where that is, but I know where there's another little location from it, so we'll quickly jump in the van before we get a parking ticket and find the next spot. Yeah, so that's Gold Oak Walk, South 16. That's the entrance there. Back in the day, it was just an entrance. There was no names or numbers. Things change. Just down the side there, and underneath this bridge, is where Milton Keynes Market is. Now, my dad started working at Milton Keynes Market from August 1979, a month before I was born, and the family business was still going right there to about 2 years ago. Long time, lifetime of market trading. And the next location that we used in the Cliff Richard video, Wired in Sound, was this sculpture here. This is designed by Wendy Taylor. It's one of 2 sculptures that she designed in Milton Keynes. There's another one down Bletchley. This is called the Octo. It's an infinity figure of 8. And then Cliff Richard was dancing around, prancing on this very rim. Prancing around there. There used to be water, like an infinity pool. But yeah, it's not allowed anymore. Not allowed. It's all sectioned off. Nobody's allowed in there. But that was quite an iconic landmark in Milton Keynes back in the day. And now it's just, yeah, it's all covered up. I can't hang around too long because, again, I'm not paying for parking. But yeah, quite an iconic landmark. And if you watch the video, it's very prominent in the start of the video, and Cliff's having a little dance around on there. You can have like a little shot looking in that direction. There weren't as many trees then. But if you want to find this, there's the shopping centre. There's the Milton Keynes Council buildings. That's where Marks and Spencer's is. And then it's just here, right on the corner. There was also some underpasses used in the video, like night shots, but yeah, it's like an underpass there, but there was roller skating under, but there's loads of these about, so it could have been anywhere really. Anyway, yeah, Cliff Richard filmed a music video in Milton Keynes in 1981. So I've had to pay for parking because I want to have a little walk around. That used to be a garden centre, it's now high-rise flats. That's the Escape that was built in 2000, the Snow Dome. There used to be a Sainsbury's just over the other side there, that's been bulldozed now. And then Milton Keynes Market just over there. And there's the shopping centre. Now this car park here used to be a grass field in the 80s. There used to be like little bumps, nice rows of trees. There used to be a little nice green area. And every summer they used to have the Radio 1 road show right there on this field. Used to see a lot of celebrities there. It was a good day out. Right next to one of the best icons of Milton Keynes back in the day, the Point. Alright, so this is the remnants of the Point. That was the actual cinema screens are in that building there. That just used to be a grass field, and then they added that car park in, I think in the early 2000s. And that was the entrance in round the side. But that's the actual Point itself, looking very decrepit now. It used to have like red tube lighting along each triangle part of the cinema, and when you used to come in from Milton Keynes from like Brickhill way, heading from Dunstable down the old A5, you could see this for miles around. You knew when you was in Milton Keynes because you could see the Point in the background. But look at the state of this now. People are utilising this as free parking. And down there used to be little boards like glass screens with lights in them, and that had the posters for all the movies that were on at the time. I used to come here all through the 80s, all through the 90s, see many classic film here. But yeah, this used to be all glass doors. You used to walk in. There used to be, the ticket office was right in front of you. Either side was where you got your popcorn and stuff, and then the screens were to the left and to the right. And there were some stairs there that went up, and in the late 80s they used to have some arcades either side of them stairs going up. Just see a little bit of the glass roof there. Yeah, this was the place to go. There's 2 sides like this, as I'll walk around and I'll show the other side. And you think of all them 80s classic movies, 80s, the 90s, and even the early 2000s. I was still coming here. I think originally it used to be an AMC cinema, then it turned into an Easy Cinema at one point, and then I think the last incarnation it was a Odeon cinema. There also used to be a nightclub up there as well on the second floor. We all view the decay together. But apparently, that Odeon Cinema is now closed. But this did get replaced with a cinema at the Escape. I don't know if the cinema's still there, I don't even know. But I still, when that opened up, I still preferred this cinema. Now, we got told by somebody many years ago when I used to work in the market that in here is just rat central. You get rats that are absolutely huge, but we got told that due to all the rat tunnels in the Milton Keynes bush area, the building was subsiding. That's the story we got told. Don't know if it's true. Just sad to see it in such a sorry state. So just down there's Milton Keynes Market. My dad's stall was literally on that corner, so I used to work there most days. That's the Midsummer Boulevard going through the centre of Milton Keynes. This was the new bit of the shopping centre that was built in the late 90s, 2000s, and then they blocked this road up and it goes round there now. But in the 90s, this was where all the boy racers used to come flying up and down. Well, I was just speaking to some locals. We was reminiscing about the point, and apparently, yep, they're knocking it down. It's going to be turned into flats. Confirmation. Very sad. You got McDonald's there. I used to get the bus, drop me off there. We used to walk over, and there was like a big LCD screen up there. That was the main entrance into the point. This was the place to be. The kiosk has always been there. And then that side used to be a little bingo hall. There used to be a road running through this section here with all parking. But yeah, that was an iconic site as you pulled into central Milton Keynes off the bus. Yeah, so that turned into a Willen Hospice charity shop. I think it's closed now. This used to be the bingo, underground bingo. Yeah, that's closed. The kiosk has been there since day one. Different owners now. Yeah, that's the entrance. All locked up. Not allowed. Not allowed. And the last times I come in here in the early 2000s, that was the Oasis bar in there. I used to walk straight through. There was some arcades on the right. There was, I think the nightclub was to the left, and you walk all the way through. You go down the stairs, and you're where the ticket office is for the actual cinema. Yeah, this was all parking before this was built. Obviously the road went through. This was all parking. There's a field there. There's a big tree in the middle that the protesters saved, and then they built this shopping centre around it. Then eventually the tree died because it got a lack of sunlight. There's a view from the other side. Very iconic building back in the day. Now just a shell of its former self waiting to be demolished. Used to see a lot of photos back in the day of this place, and it was like always shots from this kind of angle. But you can barely see it anymore. It's hidden behind all the bush. You got this gargantuan eyesore next to it. Midsummer Place with a multi-storey car park on it. Kind of blocks the view. There's the rat-infested bush. And this was the entrance the other side. Again, you had the screens here with all the movie posters back in the day. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Home Alone. So many films I see here. And this is all glass doors behind all that. You can see some broken windows up there. Damn shame. Yeah, probably the next time I come to Milton Keynes, this won't be here anymore. Be gone. Be gone. I remember coming here in the 80s on one of my birthdays, I can't remember which year, but we watched Teen Wolf on a Sunday afternoon. I come with my mum and one of my brothers. Just in there, just in there. I think this was the first American style multiplex cinema in the UK, and if not in Europe at the time. That memory is churning around in my head. Don't quote me on that, but I think that was true. This was one of a kind in 1985. Multiplex cinema, AMC. Now the actual cinema part of it is hidden by all these conifers. You can't even walk behind it now. You used to be able to walk behind there. All the fire exits were there, but that would have been the screens on this back wall. You barely even see it anymore. This was just all open fields. These were parking spaces either side. And that was that weren't there. Now you've got a bus route down here. Just no atmosphere around here either anymore. Same with most town centres, it's just dead space. And at the bottom you've got this like communist looking multi-storey car park. That's progress. £2.50 for 24 hours. Look at that. I did actually used to park my car there sometimes when I did the market round here. Not very well lit. And this is what they're knocking up everywhere, these style flats. Soulless places. They did say Milton Keynes at one point, no building will be taller than the tallest tree. There must be some big trees around there, not that I've seen, because a lot of these buildings are getting big now, especially when you go down that way and you've got the hub. There's some huge flats down there. It's a Lamborghini, but I don't think the Escape will get that much nostalgia when that gets knocked down. That'll probably get knocked down at some point, no doubt. Yeah, so in the 80s, this was the place to be, whether you wanted to watch a film, go to the arcades, have a cheeky juice, go nightclubbing. It's where me and my friends used to all meet up and watch a load of films. Even watch Kevin and Perry go large in there. Can't remember the last film I watched there. Maybe Terminator 3? I'm not sure. I can't remember the last film I watched there, but it would have been in the early 2000s. Yeah, one last look. So next time I'll be here, I don't think this will be. And Mrs. Meek, when she was younger, she used to work there. It used to be ETAMS. Look, we've got some modern technology. Check this out. Starships delivering stuff for people, but they appear to have broken down. Not allowed. Deliveries not allowed. What a pile of... The shopping centre's still busy. I remember on the right hand side up here, there used to be a radio rentals. I think it's where that Vodafone shop used to be. I remember whenever there was football on, like the FA Cup final, you used to have a crowd of people just standing there watching the game on the TV screens. Right there. I remember Man United beating Chelsea, I think it was 94. Yes, watched the whole game there. TK Maxx there, that's where Woolworths used to be. That's where we used to get our pick and mix from as kids, and go upstairs to the cafe when I worked on the markets years later and have a full English breakfast to warm up, get a bit of meat inside me. Now Woolworths gone, TK Maxx. I spent many years down there in my younger days. Still a very busy shopping centre, and then this leads out to the market. And again, that was E10 where Mrs. Meat works, right there. Yeah, this is like a ghost town. The market's not on today, but it's like a tin pot alley nowadays. Even 20 years ago, this market used to be heaving. Now just a shell of its former self, and here we are. Back out. Just went and got a muck cafe. Not had the goy slop. Just wanted a coffee, a caffeinated beverage. Anyway, I need to get back to the van because I left the puppy in there. He was asleep. I did take him for a big walk this morning. So we're back in the meat wagon. One last look at the point. Just having a coffee. And Bruno's been asleep. He's been fast asleep. Right, so we've done a reminiscing at the point, and going to show you a little cheeky filming location now from the 1980s, mid 1980s. Superman 4 was filmed up here, up the city centre. Christopher Reeves was here. He was flying through the air. There was a few little locations that were done on location. Some stuff was done in a set, but at the time there was an issue going on in Hollywood, and it was cheaper to make films in Europe than it was in America. There was something to do with the budgets of Superman 4, and I think a few other films at the same time had this problem. So yeah, it was filmed in, parts of it were filmed in Milton Keynes because it looked like an American style city. That will show you some of the locations that we used. There's another sculpture down there, not by the same artist, but of a similar style. Well, campers, we are currently outside the building formerly known as Winter Gardens, which is now Bannatyne Health Club and Spa. It's seen better days. It's very tired in there, but before we go in there, I'm just parked over here. I've just got an hour's parking. Up here is the former Argos headquarters. Just keep an eye on that little plinth there. We'll come back to that. But this, back in the day, was the doors to the Daily Planet. And in Superman 4, I actually come here in 2017 and this was still open and the doors are still there. They are in there, but they're covered up. It's got the revolving doors in there. I don't know, you can't really see it. But this place is just derelict now. But yeah, in Superman 4, Christopher Reeves, Superman, comes out of that spinny door, goes running off over here, puts his feet on this step, jumps there, and then flies away into the distance. But because of the 80s style filming, the poor cutting, when you see him jump off, you can actually see him start to come back down again as he's literally just jumping over that. But yeah, that was a screen used location for Superman 4. It's just a shame we can't physically see the revolving door in there anymore. Yeah, the point is just up there, not far. So we're going to head back into Winter Gardens. There's a couple more little spots in there as well. But yeah, Christopher Reeves, Superman, there, and then jumped and just landed there. Pucker. And a fun fact, in the 80s when they used to have the fireworks display, up until recently there was at Campbell Park, but back in the day they used to be just over there. In the 80s I used to come up there, up here with my mum and my brother. We watched the fireworks just there, and you could always hear the bits landing on the roof just here. But back then And there used to be about 50 people watching the fireworks. So yeah, this is Winter Gardens. And I'm pretty sure, even when I come here last time, there was 2 escalators. One there, one there. It's derelict now. Bit of a rundown area. But yeah, there used to be an escalator there, another one there. You all right, mate? So I was just speaking to some bloke then who worked in that Argos, and he was saying that was actually the hotel lobby that Christopher Reeve's come out of. But yeah, there was a scene here, I think it was Gene Hackman was in it, where at the top of the stairs of the escalators they come walking down. I'm sure this is different. I'm sure this never used to be here, but look, it's getting old. It's getting old. The lift doesn't work anymore. It's on the other side. I noticed there's human pee right there. Lift's no working. There was also a shot just here, facing that direction, and there was like a huge statue of Superman just in here. This is Winter Gardens. Back in the 80s, this used to be Houston's, a Tex-Mex restaurant, and then a bit later on it turned into nightclubs and stuff. I frequented many times. But check this out. A little indoor winter garden that hasn't changed for as long as I can remember. Very nice. There used to be seating down here, so you could have a cheeky jush and have a look at the tropical gardens. But nowadays it's a Ballantine Health Club and Spa. A lot of cacti down there. Yeah, there's the health club. Look at that. Bit of spiky, prickly bush. And we've got a robin down there as well. Lovely. And as we walk back through here, this is the back of the Argos building. And then in the offices up there, that was where they filmed some scenes in the Daily Planet. Just in them offices there, overlooking this little courtyard. Well, anyway, that was fun. I need to get back to the meat wagons. I've got Bruno in the van, but yeah, legit 1980s Hollywood filming locations. There's one more as well, one more a bit further down the road. So now we're heading down Midsummer Boulevard, heading to Milton Keynes train station, aka the Daily Planet. There you go, that in front of us is the train station. See if I can get parked up somewhere. Right, so there we got Central Milton Keynes bus station. This is where all the skateboarders used to skate around there. There used to be a nightclub there. I think it was a Hard Rock Cafe that I used to go to. See a lot of bands play there. But yeah, if you was into your skateboarding, this is where you used to do all your sweet stunts down here. This used to be a car park. Over there used to be the National Hockey Stadium, which became the MK Dons football stadium, and now it's, I think it's something to do with Network Rail or something. But there you go, that's the actual Milton Keynes Central train station. I've no idea what's happened to the ground. It used to just be paving slabs. They've turned it into some psychedelic little venue. Oh, we've just been compromised by the bush. When I used to get the bus from the city centre, they used to come down here, and this is where they used to change drivers. So we'd be spending many a time sat here, stuck in a bus, waiting to go back home. Let's have a little look. So straight up there is towards the point and the shopping centre. And they've turned it into some little garden. Look at that. This is very fancy. This used to all be slabbed. But yeah, that was the Daily Planet. That's changed a bit over the years. But from memory, watching the film, they filmed it over kind of in this corner, and I remember there was cranes here. They had cranes to make Superman fly. It weren't real, he didn't really fly. Christopher Reeve was on a crane. And in the movie, he comes flying down, comes swooping down, and then in the shots, you can actually see the crane reflecting in the windows of the Daily Planet. But yep, that was the Daily Planet in Superman 4. There used to be a big old metal train here as well. Don't know where that's gone now. I think they're... I think the dialect's changed a lot round here. It's a bit different to that old Milton Keynes twang I remember as a youth. Oh, another fun fact. There used to be the theory driving test centre was over there, and that's where I passed my theory test, right there. There used to be director's bar there, like a fancy cocktail bar to have your cheeky juices. Just the other side of the road you had the ice hockey rink, NK Lightning, and you had Empire, a nightclub, and Heroes. That's a good time. I spent many of my latter teenage years getting juiced up over there, having plenty of juice, going clubbing, and then getting a taxi home. Different world nowadays though, different world. And there was a newsagents down there that I used to go to that sold a lot of magazines. Any magazine you wanted, it used to be down there. And I used to cycle over that bridge and head to Thurston. But I remember getting WWF magazines from there back in the late 80s, early 90s. Long time ago. There you go. The Daily Planet, aka Milton Keynes Central Train Station. Right, campers, it's a few hours later. I've just been editing this video. I was watching back, and it wasn't Hard Rock Cafe, it was Chicago's. It was Chicago's that was by the Central Milton Keynes bus station. And I did find a picture of that little foyer where the stairs were, and I think it was stairs. I'm not sure if it was escalators. I can't remember. I'll have to watch the movie. I should have done my research. I should have watched the movie back, but back in the day, that was a very fancy place. And the Winter Gardens was opened in January 1989 by Fergie, the Princess of York. 1989. But that used to be a very, very swanky little place. Houston's, I used to enjoy going there. I did some nice Tex-Mex food, some nice burgers as well. But yeah, I'm just chilling out in Westcroft on the outskirts of Milton Keynes. It's currently 3:30. Bruno's asleep. He's had a bit of lunch. We've had a little edit of videos, and I'm going to end this portion of the daily meet here. Shortly, we're going to be heading off. I'm just going to upload this video to the tubes, and then we're going to continue our journey in a southern westerly direction. Not sure where I'm going to camp tonight. I'll have a little look on Park for Night. I'll find a little location, and then we'll have a sweet little camp tonight. So hope you enjoyed today's little trip down memory lane. A bit of nostalgia around Milton Keynes, some Cliff Richard trivia, some movie trivia around Milton Keynes. It's more than concrete cows and roundabouts. There is some other good little things I'll probably show one day when I'll come back here again. But yeah, that'll do it for this portion of the daily meat. Been quite a long portion, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next morsel of daily meat. So see you all later. Thanks for watching. Stay meaty.